What on guys, Commander here, and welcome to another Let's Play on Star Wars Battlefront 2. Now, this is sort of another first impressions and opinions, but not first impressions and opinions. What this is basically a follow-on from the last video that I did from playing the game at Eurogamer. Now, in Eurogamer, that was a pre-alpha build. This video is me playing the beta. And I wanted just to say what had changed, what hadn't changed, what I think needs to be changed, and basically just general opinions. Now, there's a few things that I've mentioned already, but I do just want to just briefly go over, and there's a few other things which require a bit more detailed explanation. So one of those things that need a little bit of referencing is graphics. Again, I've mentioned this, how amazed I am with the graphics. I'm not sure that it's changed much between the pre-alpha and the beta, but I just want to say how amazing it looks. I absolutely played the death out of the game. I've played it. I pre-ordered the beta, so I got it early access, and I've played it for pretty much since it came out till now, which is the 8th of October. So I've played it for about 5 days. So I've played the absolute death out of the game. So through that, I've managed to notice that the graphics, how can you not notice that, are absolutely amazing. And I'm so impressed with it. I really think that DICE and EA have done an amazing job with it. Now, another thing is gameplay. Now, in the way of the difference in gameplay, the one thing that I've noticed is whether it was because at Eurogamer I was playing with a PlayStation controller, or whether it was because it's pre-alpha and they've changed it for the beta, but the gameplay has a significant difference to it in the sense that it's harder. Now, when I say it's harder, I don't mean that it's more difficult and you can't actually play it. What I mean is, when I did my first impressions and opinions from Eurogamer, I said that it's very, very easy to get kills. Now, don't get me wrong, it's still relatively simple to get kills, but it's very challenging to do so. If you muck up and you don't do something right, you will die. And if you do not use your star cards to your advantage, and star cards I'll come on to in a second, if you don't use your star cards to your advantage, you will not get very many kills at all. And that was really all I really noticed. There's a few little differences that, like, again, when I played at Eurogamer, the gameplay, I mean, apologies, I was playing it on a controller, but it just felt different. It felt easier, and this one felt a bit more realistic, if that makes sense. So the next thing I want to come on to is star cards. Now, I don't think I mentioned this in the last video. I don't actually think I got around to mentioning it, but basically the star cards work the same, and you can sort of customize them still like the old Battlefront, but it's still class related. Now, I'm not going to go too much into class because I've already played as the different classes, and I've already done a video explaining the different classes, which is the last one. The last video will be in the description down below if I remember. If I don't, put it, type in the comment section below, Commander, you forgot to put the last video in the description, and I'll put it in. So, what I think about star cards is they're really good, and it may just be because it's just the beta and they don't want to give too many away, but I hope that they add more star cards in, because how you change your star cards is by unlocking the star cards and then replacing them with one that you've already got. So you got your default ones. So let's say, for instance, the heavy. He's got the impact grenade, he's got the sentry, and he's got the shield. Now, that's the default. And as you progress and you play, you either craft the new star cards from scraps that you get out of crates, or you get the cards out of crates. Now, from what you can see in the beta, there's actually only 6. Now, they probably will add some more in for the full release, and I can understand they don't want to give too much away. They don't want to give too much away for the beta, which is perfectly understandable, and I perfectly understand that. But what I noticed is that it's hard to explain. Some are better than others. Like, I find personally, from what I can get at, for the heavy, which is my favourite class, you've got like I said, you've got the impact grenade, the sentry, and the shield. Now that works better for me than what the star cards for the heavy are, which is the remote detonator, the barricade, I think it is, and the heavy sentry. Now those don't work for me very well. The original ones actually do work for me better. I don't know why that is the case, but it's just the way that it works. So I hope that they add some more star cards in for each class, so it gives people more choice for customization. Because EA said they're gonna reinvent the customization and make it a lot better. This would be the best way that they possibly could do it, by adding more star cards in. Now this next point is just something that I noticed while I was playing it. I was playing Strike the other day on Takodana, playing the First Order, and I noticed this while I was playing it. Now, Galactic Assault is what you were playing on Theed, where you've got 3 stages. So if you're the CIS, you've got to your first stage is to get the MTT to the entrance of the throne room. And then you've got to shut down the palace security systems, and then you've got to try and take the throne room. If you're the Republic, you've got to basically stop the Confederacy from doing each objective. And if you do that, you win. If you don't, then they win. What I was thinking is how the Strike game mode worked was, well, how the Strike game mode works in the beta is the First Order have 100 trooper reinforcements. So, and with that 100 trooper reinforcements, they've got to try and grab the artifacts out of Maz Kanata's castle and bring it to their transport. And if they do that, they win. Now, and then the resistance has to try and stop them and kill all 100 of those First Order troopers to win. Now, from what I can, what I've played and what I can sort of understand from my point of view is the Takodana Strike gameplay would work really, really well as Galactic Assault. Now, they probably will do a Galactic Assault on Takodana because it's probably one of the best places. Looking at the map and the way it works, if they redesign things a little bit, it would work really, really well as a Galactic Assault map. And I think that'd be absolutely amazing. That'd be one of the better First Order, like new Galactic Civil War 2, I'm going to call it, era things to do. I think it'd be absolutely amazing if they did that. Now, this was the main thing that I noticed. This is what's going to take up most of the video and what most of the rest of the video. Something I noticed, especially when playing Galactic Assault on Theed, and I noticed this a bit when I was playing Strike as well. I didn't play too much Starfighter Assault because I don't like Starfighter Assault at all. Galactic Assault especially, the game mode, this game mode is very, very one-sided. And when I mean one-sided, I mean, let's say I play as the Clone Trooper, for instance. I play as the Heavy unless I'm trying to level up, let's say, my Officer or my Specialist or my Assault. So I'm normally playing as the Heavy, and like I've said earlier on in the video, he's got the Impact Grenade, the Shield, and the Sentry. Now, when a Clone Trooper fires an Ion Disruptor at the MTT, you can do damage to it, and it's part of your first objective to destroy the MTT. Now, this doesn't do too much damage to it, but I'll tell you why it's slightly one-sided in a second. Let's say, for instance, this is what I've experienced. Let's say I grab an Ion Disruptor and I fire it at the MTT. If I get my Sentry out, literally as soon as it fires, and until the MTT is re-shielded, I'm continuously firing my Sentry. From that, I can get about 1,200 battle points. Now, assume I do that 5 times, and 5 iron disruptors are gone, and I get about 1,000 battle points for each. After 5 of those iron things gone, I can get a hero. Now, this is what I mean by one-sided. As far as the CIS are concerned, how you get battle points is your generic do damage, kill enemies, and do your objectives. And especially, and with the first phase of the CIS, there isn't actually an objective except for defending your MTT, which isn't actually gives you any objective battle points anyway. It's only in the second and third phase, when you're actually capturing things, that you get objective points. So this is what I mean by it's one-sided. So I played about 5 games of Galactic Assault with the Republic, and I used this tactic to get loads and loads of battle points. So I think I almost got 1,500. I think I got 1,500 battle points at once. But just by continuously firing my sentry, and in each one of those games, I managed to get a hero. And even if I didn't get a hero, or I didn't have enough battle points, by the time phase 2 starts, I only needed to kill 2 enemies, and I'd have got enough points to get the hero. Which I think is slightly irritating, because it means that the Republic side is then stronger than the Confederacy side, because the Confederacy needs to do more to gain those battle points in order to bring like reinforcements of, let's say, an AAT or a hero like Darth Maul or Boba Fett in. So that's sort of what I mean by it's one-sided. The only thing that I can suggest to EA and DICE to do is to either half or just lower generally the amount of battle points you get for attacking that MTT. Let's say they halved it, for instance. There's no way I would be able to get 5,000 battle points just by attacking that MTT. I would need to have 10 ion disruptors fired at it, plus with all the battle droids in the enemy team firing at me as well. So that make it a lot harder. And then plus the stuff you would get from killing enemies, it just will make it a whole lot better. And this is sort of something that I noticed in Strike as well. Because the actual artifact is in the middle of Maz Kanata's castle, the resistance can go on top of the castle and fire at the First Order from down below. Now that makes it very, very tricky for the First Order to get inside the castle if they're constantly getting fired upon from above. Now, I personally haven't had any problems with it so far, but when I've played as the Resistance, I've gone up onto the top of that castle. When I'm playing on my own and playing like not recording anything, I've got pretty much most troopers that I see in the forest and in the distance, I've shot at and I've killed. Now that is a massive advantage to the Resistance side, and a massive downside to the First Order. Plus, once the First Order have got the artifact to try and take it back to the gunship, it's very, very hard, because then the entire Resistance side then rushes off to the transport and guns down any First Order that come near them. So some things are very one-sided, and also you can have about 5 about 5 Resistance troopers guard each entrance to Maz Kanata's castle and kill any First Order that come into the castle, which is again a massive disadvantage to the First Order side. I actually found it more trickier to play as the First Order than I did to play as the Resistance, and the same with Galactic Assault. I found it more easier to play as the Republic, because with this thing with attacking the MTT, I could get battle points really, really quickly. And even if nobody was attacking the MTT, I could grab a ion disruptor, fire it at the MTT with relative ease, and then grab my sentry, continuously fire on it, I get about 1,000 battle points. It's very one-sided, and that's something that I hope to God that EA and DICE fix in the near future. So anyway, that is about what we have time for in this video here. I hope you have enjoyed. Now this was just what I noticed from the beta that changed or what I noticed since playing a Eurogamer. And again, a Eurogamer, I only got to play about 20 minutes of Battlefront with one game. Here, with the beta, I've played it for hours. I think I must have at least 10 hours playing Battlefront 2 already with the beta. So that's given me a lot more ability to sort of see what needs to be done and what has changed, what hasn't changed, what needs to be changed. So yeah, I hope you have enjoyed. If you did enjoy, don't forget to smash that like button and hit that subscribe button for more awesome gaming content, and I shall see you all later. Bye!